Welcome back, everyone. Um, I just woke up from the power nap, um, and I gotta read this message for you guys. This is kind of important. I wanna share with you right away. It's about this tweet, and you can check it out. It's very important. It says Belarusian railway infrastructure has been hit by ransomware, cyber attack. It's been reported servers, databases, and workstation have been impacted to delay development of Russian troops. The individual or individuals is demanding the release of 50 political prisoners. Um, Guys, this is no joke. Basically, it's a threat. It can escalate very quickly. We don't know what the situation is going to develop, but pay attention to that. Me being IT guy, working for IT company, cyber attacks is no joke. It can. I had a first-hand view on the companies where if you don't have a proper backup, if you're not prepared for that, it can destroy your business. It can destroy everything you've built for many years, and there's no way around it. So it's a very important news that I want to share with you guys. But today, I decided to make a video. I make a few notes. I watched a bunch of interviews with people from macro world and finance world in Polish. They're Polish. I'm Polish too. So I want to summarize what I kind of my conclusions that I got from the videos, what I'm hearing about what other people think, and I'm completely aligned with that. Um, so basically, I think we're in the middle of the war, and the war that you might think of is not the war about, I don't know, climate change. It's not about war about whose money gonna win in the financial markets, or war about power, as far as like global markets or like maybe minority rights. There's another war going on. I'm talking about war that's happening about your conscious mind. Um, I've been reading books. I read the book Science of Getting Rich. I think it's the very fundamental book that everybody should read it. And um, and I've been also following the study and work of Bob Proctor, and he's talking about conscious and subconscious mind. It's basically where our mind consists of two different um, parts, and it's a conscious mind and unconscious mind. And the key element here is the both are not aware of each other. So what you're putting in your subconscious mind via your conscious mind is very important. So this is why I think the war that's happening is about our consciousness. um, I also look at the world, and you probably have this feeling, it's like a video game, it's like a game, it's like a casino game. And the reference that I heard, and it's kind of interesting, is like you going to casino knowing the house always wins, the casino always wins, yet you go there, and maybe at the beginning of the night you start winning, and there's a time shift that as you're in that casino you start losing money, and if you don't walk away from the table, you're gonna lose everything. And this is what I think is it's happening right now globally, which guys, if you would ask me about this whole thing, this knowledge, this awareness, I don't know, 4 years ago, I was ever Joe. I was living with my parents in the basement. I was not aware about how financial system works, how everything works pretty much in life, and certain people that I super grateful for, kind of opened my eyes and got me interested in what's going on in the world, in the global spectrum. Um, those organizations that were developed, and I remember studying them as they were being created, or learning about why they were being created at the first place, was always to kind of like bring the benefit, like those organizations like ONZ, which is what is it? You know what ONZ is? International Monetary Fund, so IMF, World Bank, European Union was created, World health organizations, all those couple letter words organizations, they were created to centralize certain things and help people initially, to control it and monitor and help. But they losing. They kind of not losing, but just like the casino game, you're getting certain benefits at the beginning, and later on, they might put restrictions on you because they became so powerful and influential. So I don't think that's a good thing that we have those organizations. I think at the beginning they were helpful, but now they kind of like they have ability to put certain agenda and message to global mass, uh, overall people, so they can push certain message out. And I think the goal for all those global elites and those global central planners and all those organizations, if you step away a couple steps and look and try to connect the dots, what currently is happening, and you're aware of those dots that they even exist, you will become to see a bigger picture. And when I'm talking about cyber totalitarianism, it's a totalitarianism that can be controlled by something that we all kind of are dived into. So internet, this strongly can be done by using the newest technologies. So you're probably aware that you can talk about something to your friend and your phone suddenly starts showing you like some advertisements, or actually your internet companies are obligated to give any data to whoever requests it based on the law. I remember I downloaded some illegal movie like 6 years ago, maybe more than that, and Comcast had to give them all the information to the attorney company, the law firm that basically was suing me for downloading illegal movie, and I had to pay like $4,000 for it. So don't download illegal movies. I did it only a couple times, and I got caught. So don't do it. My point is like you have no control over it. What you're doing with your in the digital space as of today. You basically every time you click agree, if you have Windows 10, there's a closure there that you give rights to authorities to jump into your computer at any given time. And it was a big thing when Windows 10 came out. That's why there was a free upgrade from Windows 7 to Windows 10. And it still is. So there's a push to switch you over to that system, because if you have Windows 7, they legally could not jump into your computer. Where was I? So basically, their goal of those central planners, and this is my thoughts, this is my analytical thinking of where we're heading as far as the plan of what World Economic Forum and all those big organizations they trying to push on us. I think there's going to be struggling actually using that artificial intelligence, maybe our phones, internet, um, just like China does right now. Just you walking to the restaurant, they know everything about you just by looking at your picture via camera, and the computer will tell you, you who you are, pretty much what your favorite food is, and all that stuff. So that's one part. Global government is coming, and the leading companies will be beneficial from it. Are the already huge giants, Google, Facebook, Amazon. As you can see, the small businesses dying off. I mean, if I drive through like shopping malls or like little side malls that you have maybe 5, 10 businesses, and I see signs for these, and there used to be a restaurant, and they're temporary closed, and it's not nice, guys. I think also reducing population. We've been hearing about this for years, and there's no really like proof for it yet. I'm not gonna speculate by the medicine if this is something that's included there, uh, but even the inability to raise the kid in an environment you would like to raise the kid, it's it's pushing you not to do it. The cost of raising kid is really high. The values that the kid might get in the school, so like education system is corrupted, like it's not working. I mean, my friend, uh, he called school because the school was showing a news on CNN to those kids, and they were asking to write a report or what they were seeing on CNN News, and it was constant repeating tasks for them to do. And he basically called like, listen guys, why are you guys showing only CNN? Why are you not diversify the news that the kid is watching and absorbing as a little kid that you probably know is the most influential time of growing up. So yeah, this stuff, this little anecdotes that I'm hearing from my friends, from people that I talk to, the people that I meet, um, it's it's just it's just drawing you this big picture of what the agenda is, what government is doing, what the end goal is, and I'm seeing this kind of trend. Um, so yeah, and I think that ultimate goal is to go back to slavery, and how are they gonna achieve that? Well, first of all, they have to destroy a middle class. Middle class is still it's a group of people that still have ability to be kind of free, free what to do what they want to do, think about what they want to think, and destroying that middle class is number one priority right now. That's happening, and you probably some of you might feel it. You might feel the pain of your business being shut down, your inability to conduct business normally. Maybe the volume dropped because of that mandate or the other restrictions that the government put on you. And I also see energy crisis luring up into United States. We already know that Europe is already having that. But me personally, I knew I want to get solar, no matter what the cost of energy right now it is. But if I'm gonna have opportunity to get the solar system for cheap, I'm gonna get it, and that's what I did, because I believe energy is the key. I mean, if I don't have power, I don't have water because my well pump doesn't work, right? If I don't have power, my gas heating controller will not start the heating. So the power for me is number one. Um, thank God I got a wood stove, but that's the plan B for energy for my house. But basically, yeah, energy crisis is coming up. Food crisis. That's another thing that we don't really pay attention to. Slowly now, this being kind of unveiling, and I'm listening to certain people from the YouTube channels. They're giving you spot on reports on what's happening today that's gonna be affecting us like today, and this was happening maybe 6 months ago. So I was thinking in July to get a two chest freezers, energy efficient two chest freezers, so that it's not going to cost me a lot of money to run it, stock them up, fill them up with food. So just in case something goes wrong, I have a nice chest freezers that I can always dig in and get some food. And when you think about it, in the spring, when there's blueberries, raspberries, they're very tasty. They're super cheap because it's abundance of it, so you can get it really good deals on very delicious, good, healthy fruits. So you can freeze them, and in the winter, like right now, you will have a lack of vitamin. It's nice to just reach out, defrost it, make a milkshake, and have that vitamin boost. That's necessary during the winter times. Um, and also cyber pandemic, it's something that I am very very aware of it, and be kind of mindful about it, because me being IT guy, I know how easy something can just break like that. I've seen people hard drive failures, I've seen, like I said, cyber attacks, and there's no way, if you don't have a proper backup, there's no way to going back. And cyber pandemic, it's a huge thing. I'm gonna explain you a little bit down the line. So I believe that nothing that happens right now, the major events that we see, nothing happens without a reason. And actually being informed about it. It's in the movies, in the books, and agendas that certain organizations are showing to us. If you look at Charles Schwab and World Economic Forum, what they've been presenting to us over the years, pretty much 99% of stuff that they talk about literally happened. Um, there's this Polish video about this made by this guy where he made a video, conspiracy theories that actually happen. And there's no conspiracy theories about it, just the facts that people were thinking that there were conspiracy theories that actually happened. It's a very interesting video. You can Google it, try to maybe auto caption in English and understand it. But yeah, nothing happens for a reason. When you think about it, all those years the Canal of Suez was open for so many years, and when the pandemic hit and there was so much necessity to get those goods from different countries, suddenly out of nowhere the wind blew a huge ship and blocked the canal for like weeks. Then there was a sinkage of another container with the auto car parts and stuff like that. So and nobody can explain it why. So I love to ask question why. My dad was annoyed by question. Dad, why this? How do? And the question why is very important to me. And I always been curious and asked a bunch of other questions because I want to understand how something works, why you do this certain way, what's the benefit of it. So, why they're showing us this kind of reasons? Well, they're showing us to see, I think, to check how much we are potent on the programming they kind of putting onto us, how they are, how the propaganda they're throwing at us it's working. And now you're gonna slowly start seeing, you know, that the divisiveness that's happening, and when you divide it, you start yelling at people about this is truth or not truth, and it's kind of becoming a conflict right now where journalists, activists, politicians, they want to throw these little battles, I would call them. So we're in a war of our consciousness, right? But they're running battles to kind of make a smoke and mirrors. So battles about fighting the poverty, fighting the climate change, all this ESG movement, closing the gap between wealthy people and poor people, the gender inequality, and it's kind of like distractions from what really is going on. Um, and you hear more and more about the Great Reset, right? And I think it's happening. And the reset, um, it's not only one reset. It's affecting so many different areas of our life, and I'm gonna go through them really quickly. I have my notes here. So economic reset, right? Um, we are in a debt-based monetary system. So in order to this system to work, you just constantly have to take more and more debt. And the money creation, not money, the currency creation that's happening right now globally, it's creating an inflation. And inflation, it's a horrible thing, guys. I've been through inflation, hyperinflation in Poland, and it's really not nice. It's literally destroying everybody. It's a no joke. Uh, the cyber pandemic I was talking about, that's the second thing. That's kind of reset that's happening right now. It's where certain companies, they can block information, they can censorship you, they can deplatform you, they can tell you you're misinforming people. Even this video right now that's happening, I don't even. You guys see, some people can't even speak the words in order to send you a proper message. They have to come up with, different the bad flu or cerveza sickness terms in order to trick the algorithms and artificial intelligence that's supposed to be so much helpful for us in order to weed out the people that kind of misinform you. So they can also cut you from your bank. I mean, yes, we have a cash, but when you think about it, when was the last time you actually used cash on a daily basis, like day to day? I personally don't use cash. I have some cash with me on the side if I need to buy something really quickly, or have some extra spare cash, which I believe every and each one of you should have. Um, because if the credit cards go off, and the credit cards just go off in Orlando. I just saw a YouTube video on Economic Ninja. He was reporting that the credit card system failed in Orlando area, and people can get gas. You can go to the bank, you can go to ATM. You cannot get your cash out. So if you don't have extra cash in your home, I highly recommend it. Um, so yeah, basically they can cut you off from the monetary system, like the bank system. So that's why I'm trying to obtain goods that are outside of the banking system. So gold, silver, um, that's like number one. I mean, everybody should have it. And even though you have very little, sometimes I believe in the future might save your life, might help you a lot to survive what I believe it's slowly being implemented, and it's coming. And it's it not maybe scared the shit out of me, but and sorry for my profanity, but um, it worries me. It worries me. I'm being prepared. I'm preparing every day for it. I'm making small little steps to be better prepared for that. But this is kind of theory that I have. Um, all and this is about our currencies. Mm, that cyber pandemic might cause a transition um, to the cryptocurrency that will be issued by the banks. And I believe, and this is probability, it's high probability for me, that central banks will come up with a global new currency, and it will be called like a digital SDR. It's a currency that's been created by the banks in 70s, and you can trade all the other currencies with that currency. And when I think about it, all other currencies are being issued by governments. Maybe not issued, but they're representing government entity. Where SDR is strictly bank currency, is not a government. There's no actual government. It's just a bank currency. And think about it: if all other currencies will fail, and people maybe like will not be able to get it access to the data or the wealth that they stored in this digital form because some sort of cyber pandemic, some cyber attack that might be happening, you might lose access, or you might lose the proof that you own certain things in the crypto or digital world, and they're vanished. So you can't really prove it unless you have a statement, unless you have some sort of proof that this is what you had. So that's why I encourage everybody to get daily statements from all your portfolios, so you know what you have, and that might be pushing the governments to be like, okay, everything failed now. Let's switch to this new super secure uh, cryptocurrency, global cryptocurrency that everybody can have easy access to. And if you're gonna corner people into such a tight corner that they will be forced because of necessity to have help, ask for help, the world government with this new currency that you can buy literally everything, and this can be very like easy obtainable by every average Joe. Um, they will hook you on a new monetary. They will hook you on a new system that they will have total control on um, how much currency is in circulation, how fast you might need to spend it. They can control the velocity of money. They can control how fast people will be spending that money they will be receiving as a help. So it's always a help, at the beginning. But in the longer picture, you're gonna see this is not necessarily help. This is slavery in progress, enslavement. Um, so going back to the reset. So economic reset, inflation, and more debt. So we're going to more debt. Cyber pandemic, blocking information, cut us from the actual access to currency, money. There's also social reset that's happening, and I think that social reset is it's a social reset that's being created by governments in order to create that social unrest. So oppress people so they can go on the streets, and if that's gonna happen globally, let's say there's some massive disruptions. This is like also not a gloom and doom, but guys, nothing is out of the question here. And when you look at it, if major countries will fail to um, get control over people and social unrest, that's where the global government can come in and be like, listen, guys, you don't know how to handle this. Let us take over. Let's implement new agenda, new global reset to basically control it. We'll give you money. We'll give you support. Just have to listen to us. So that's a social reset that I see. It's kind of like coming up. Ecological reset. So we're closing a coal mines. We shut down the fracking, and that will be leading to energy crisis. It's a rapid escalation right now. You see the price of uranium going up. There's a reason why they call coal a black gold, because density of energy that's in the coal, it's so big that there's nothing else that can match it right now except maybe uranium. Uh, but yeah, but even the coal, when we burn it today with our new technologies, it's so clean, they don't really pollute. But people are not aware of that. So that's a message that we hear, that coal is dark, and that there's no clean coal. um, there's also food issue, where you see um, small farmers being shut down. Actually, I have an anecdote for you. So my wife, my wife's grandfather, they they're in Canada, and they used to own a big farm. They sold it for, I believe, $9 million to Chinese people last year, and they used to own cattle. They were farmers. They were producing a bunch of milk. Then the milk production became problematic because they had certain limitations on what milk they can produce. If there was more milk produced, that milk has to be destroyed. They could not sell it. This was limitation by government. So they restructured and they started growing garlic. And that farm was sold last year because they were retired, and they my wife told me they had this farm for generations, and now those farms are being bought by Chinese corporations that basically investing in land and food production. So, and he also said that a bunch of other his friends that used to own farms, they sold their farms to Chinese people, Chinese investors. So foreign capital is coming to Canada to literally buy the land and the businesses for food production. So this is just not a puzzle. If you look, those individual pieces of puzzles, like they're on the table, and you look at them, you're like trying to find what's going on, you're not gonna find it. But if you step back and you look from the bird's eye view, you're gonna see the whole picture. And that's what I've been doing. So those little anecdotes, this is like just the little dots, little pieces of puzzle that I'm putting together. Um, and what is also lasting, it's individual reset. And what I mean by that, um, all this mask compliance, mandates, testing, it's kind of like put you in this kind of new pattern of behavior and compliance. And this is kind of like, the effects, the unintended consequences of that are like we're becoming more and more distant from each other. The social distancing is happening, right? We don't see each other expression of faces, even though, how many times you see a person driving by themselves in the car on a highway with the masks on. I literally give him a look, and I feel pity for them. I don't understand how come you can be by yourself in your car, driving in your car by yourself wearing a mask. That doesn't make sense. That shows me clearly how the programming, how the propaganda, and the fear that's being put on us every minute of the day. I mean, it's just crazy to think about, how this effective is. I don't watch TV since 2001. When I came to the United States, I start watching TV, and the commercials that coming in every, I would say, 10 minutes. You can't even watch a movie, guys. The movie is like an hour, 30 minutes long. It takes almost 2.5 hours to watch that movie when I was at the gym because of the commercial interruptions. That's how much stuff we're being fed up with on the TV. And I got so aggravated by it, I stopped watching TV. I never had a cable. I never had a even antenna connected with local news stations. All the news I'm getting is literally from YouTube, from articles that I'm seeing, and stuff like that. Because I hate commercials. They're stupid. They're annoying. They're annoying me. It's a waste of my time. Even right now on YouTube, I bought a premium membership so I don't see those commercials. Every time I'm watching something, it just goes there. And a good tip for you guys from Poly Side Hustler is sign up for premium, and you have 5 other friends that you can share this with you, that subscription, so they don't see that commercials. So you can all pitch in. It's like $15 per month. But if you find a couple friends, be like, listen, you pay me $50 instead of paying whatever. Let's say it's $5 per, yeah. Let's say it's $5 instead of 15. So that's going to be $60 per year. For $60 per year, instead of paying 180, whatever, you gonna get free advertisement, and they're gonna pay for it. I mean, this is such a waste of time. So yeah, this is what's happening. You also see depression in young people. I had a friend that basically who was depressed, and you can tell that his behavior became more and more antisocial. He's being scared of interact with girls, with the friends. Like he's being shy and closed into himself. And I told him, don't be afraid to speak to people. Don't let yourself being in that closed-minded bubble. And then I give him a little bit of encouragement to basically become more aware, and he's doing better now. So yeah, young people get suicidal. They cannot handle it. I mean, guys, they rather go to see porn websites instead of trying to interact with girls and talk with them and flirt and stuff like that. I mean, it's just becoming very, very bizarre for young people, especially. Maybe that's not a reason that people see that and they don't want to have kids. Um, and I'm looking also on the videos from the World Economic Forum when all those leaders are coming, and they're kind of like reading the same script. They talk about all this narrow window of opportunity. Why it's so narrow? Why it's for them it's so narrow? Maybe the shift, they notice that people are maybe not so dumb. That the awareness of what's going on globally, it's happening. That's why I make this video for you guys. And they talk about nonsense. They talk about those global elites. They talk about this narrow window of opportunity, and I don't know why politicians who go to those meetings and Davos and these gatherings that just happen literally, and why they do it. They follow the rules. They basically read the script that somebody wrote for them. Maybe it's because they have promised that if the global shift will happen, if the global agenda will be played out, they're gonna have some new um, positions. They being incentivized. Maybe they being oppressed or scared. Maybe there's some footage of them doing some crazy stuff somewhere else that they don't want to be exposed, and they're being kind of chantage. Maybe they want to be untouchable in the future because of the mistakes that they're doing. If something comes up, they'd be like, okay, listen, I'll do that, but if something goes wrong, you have to take care of my back. Like, I'm not going to prison. Yeah, I'm not being prosecuted. Who knows? It's just bizarre to me that you clearly see, especially if you watch fragments of the news from all over the country. I mean, all over the world from different countries, and you see the same script. There's a YouTube, there's a video on Twitter somebody put together different, um, how different leaders they saying the same thing. It's bizarre. It's crazy. Um, Also, they talk about that how the professions will be replaced by artificial intelligence. So the lawyers, the doctor, judges, everything will be replaced by artificial intelligence. That comes back to the another cyber pandemic or cyber kind of artificial intelligence future. Um, and and I was thinking about, okay, if slave, who's a slave? Because we put this term slave to be this kind of person that, I don't know, works in a field, and is basically a piece of meat that you control and feed so they can produce something for you. I think the term is kind of more broad than this. What makes you a slave? Well, if you cannot decide about your body, what you want to do with it. If you want to eat a lot of junk food, you're gonna become fat. That's your unintended. That's a consequence of your behavior. But I'm not talking about that kind of control of your body. You cannot decide with your body. Like right now, we have this medicine mandates, right? And we're being forced to inject something into my body that I have no idea what it is. Experimental, never been tried before. It's like a global experiment happening right now. We don't know long term consequences of it. It's not even a vaccine. It's some sort of immune system experimental gene therapy that we have right now. Um, and I don't know if this video will be blocked because of what I'm saying, but that's the way I see it. Based on my research, but based on people that have a clean record of being right for the decades, and they have the research on it, and somehow if they speak out, they're being blocked. You know, it's just the common sense. It's just the questions you need to ask yourself. That ability for you to think, have a peace of mind, walk away from this noise, go in the forest, spend some time, start thinking about things. We cannot decide, slave cannot decide about future of their kids. Literally right now when they give away kids to this schooling system in the United States, at least, different countries, I don't know. But we, like I said, just an example with my friend, he can control it, what they teach the kid in the school. They're being taught what the teacher is going to tell them, and you have pretty much zero control because you don't monitor what they're being studied. He found out this from his just looking at what his homework was, and he asked him questions. Why are you doing this? Well, the teacher asked us to do it every day for the past 2 weeks. I did the same thing in high school. I remember that I had to watch the news, but the task was different. It was not only like CNN. It was multiple sources to gather information and present it to the class from different sources and different areas, like financial, medical, maybe science, and condense a week of news into one presentation in class at the end of the week on Friday. So that was actually beneficial because you kind of became a journalist from journalist. um, and right now, yeah, the kids going to school, you have no control over it. The education kind of sucks. Every parent that I know, they complain about how the grades of the kids went down. They used to be AB students, now they're C and D, and F is being removed in some states. We also have no rights. So slave has no rights, and right now we see that kind of thing happening in Chicago right now. If you don't have a proof of vaccination, you have no right to go to the restaurant. You have no right to do this and that, and that's another checkpoint. We also have no access to the good education. That's going back to the kids. I mean, how many times you've seen a video? I think Jalen was doing these videos of asking basic questions about history, geography, geography, and the kids have no clue where Asia is, where the certain countries are. Um, the level of education, I noticed that specifically when I came in 2001 to the States, when I graduated from high school. And I remember I was flying with this lady, and I remember the pictures. She was studying something while she was flying, and I'm like, what are you studying for? Are you in high school? She's like, no, no, I'm studying for doctorate. I'm becoming a doctor. I'm like, but you study the same thing I've been studying in biology class in high school. And we were debating on it. Like, I was showing her, like, this is the stuff that I've been learning about in high school, and you guys have this in college. It was eye opening. And also, like, when I was in the classes and when I was participating, it was very boring to me because there was nothing new. I literally quit college because I was bored to hell. There was no extra value for me except a piece of paper. And also the whole system is messed up. I was a student, and because there was some misunderstanding at the end of the final test, I couldn't attend, and they failed me. So I understand why being a student, because of one stupid test, can be kind of ruin his life and waste his money. It doesn't make sense. So yeah, and the slave is also handcuffs, and handcuffs right now are becoming in different form. It's not necessarily handcuffs, but I think it's the mask mandates. It's the if you have a credit card debt, those things put you in enslavement, because once you get into credit card debt, it's very, very hard to get out of. I've been there, I've done there. It's very, very hard. You have to put so much energy to get out of that. It's not even a joke. So be aware of those things that I just mentioned. Start thinking about it. Talk with other people. What do they think about? Because you're gonna start hearing opinions and anecdotes, and you're gonna start seeing the bigger, more real life reality scenario that's that you're being surrounded by, rather than just reading and watching. By the way, I just attended a second Rebel Capitalist Life. Okay, I forgot put my headphones. There you go. So I am proud rebel capitalist, um, and I want you guys to be mindful about the food you're eating, what kind of food you're putting into your body, because it's your fuel for your body. It's very important. Um, Medication, take supplements. Be aware of family destructions that's happening. Even in my family on Christmas Eve, we had a heated debate about um, medicine mandates and overall this situation we're in. I would call it the most famous sickness of all time. um, Education, what's happening with your kids? Where I remember our homework used to be, you have to write an essay, you have to write this. The tests were random, and you had to write an answer. When I came to the United States, it became only ABCD. The driver's license test, ABCD. It's very easy. It's such a easy dumb test to take, and like all of the above answer. It's like it's just stupid. Be aware of the social isolation that kind of being generated now by society. We only watch phones, and we watch TV. We sit next to each other. We don't interact with each other anymore. Everybody just glued to the phone. Even I find myself, because I do a bunch of time lapse video, guys, for you to show how I'm working on a property and how I'm changing the landscape and all that. And I remember I was watching this video, the time lapse, and I saw myself looking to this phone like a glued guy for like 5 minutes on a time lapse. This made me aware, like, okay, this is something that I have to really limit my time to. So I start watching, I start listening while I do other things. If it's a manual labor, or I'm doing something that's like maybe driving or something like that. I'm just listening. I'm not really watching it. I'm just absorbing the information by listening. Um, so don't be afraid. Fear is being bombarded in you from left and right, top and bottom. And don't let yourself die doing the life while you're living. Um, that's like my final message here. Um, you know, I know it's a constant negativity that you're hearing from news and stories that you see and read, and you know, we have to remember one thing. We are the silent majority right now, that we are the people, and you might be felt alone. You might be felt that you're the crazy one. You might be feel that nobody understands you, and it's really hard to come across somebody who has the same kind of point of view on life and what's surrounding you. So by slowly talking to people you have good relationship with and try to um, show them and explain them in a very slow paced kind of like way of the way you think, by showing them facts, not conspiracies, just the facts. um, Maybe you can change the world. I think it's not too late. We're not slaves yet. The freedom is very important to me. It's like number one thing to do. I hate when somebody tells me what to do. Even my city gave me some violence of I'm sorry, they gave me notification notice of violence. Where is it, in the trash? All right, look at that. I got this notice of ordinance violation. You know what they wrote? You need to clean up your yard. You need to fix your roof and remove blue tarp. Call me if you have any questions. So this is not a really actual ticket. It's just a notification from the city that one of my neighbors complained about. So I called the guy and I asked, well, how can I help you? Well, he said, neighbors are complaining about stuff that you have on your property and the roof that you have over there and all that. I'm like, listen, first of all, you don't need to tell me what I need to do with my roof. I bought the property in June. We moved the end of the summer, and we were not able to fix the roof because of the conditions of the weather conditions and materials and lack of labor. I have materials, I have workers, I'm ready to go. The only thing that's preventing me is the weather. If you would know what the flat roof is and how you can recondition it or fix it, you need to have a proper temperature, you need to have proper material, and proper weather conditions. Second of all, the blue tarp right now is preventing for water getting to my garage, so it's gonna stay there till I fix the roof. And the third of all, if you would look closely, the pallets with cinder blocks, it's literally a building material that I'm gonna be using on my property. So I would kindly appreciate if you don't interfere on my land property, what I'm doing with my life. And I told him, if you really want to check, you can check with me at the end of this spring, because maybe that's when I'm going to start removing certain things and doing something on the property. And I had to put this guy in a box and make him realize that you might have your ordinances, but you guys don't have common sense. Because if the guy would be educated, if he would see what kind of roof that I have, he would be like, okay, it's not possible for him to fix the roof. If he would have information when I bought the house, he would not make that statement. He would not even write this stupid red note. And I don't like to be told what I need to do on my property. You know what his explanation was? Well, they paying high taxes, so they like to have a nice view. And I'm like, am I not paying the high taxes too? What is this, some sort of privilege? Because they have $1.5 million house next to my property and they pay high taxes, and I just bought this property for $325 and I'm about to fix it and I'm going to pay much more taxes. Like, what's the more privilege they have than I don't have as a human being? He was quiet. So don't let yourself put reality of somebody else's thinking. Speak up for yourself. Don't let those oppressors try to squeeze you in. Stand up straight and tell them what you think. And if you're right, because this is at the end of the day, this is your property, yeah, you live in their city, they have rules and regulations about the environment and other things. But if you have couple stuff on your property, who gives a care? And I spoke with my neighbor and I told him, listen, if I were you, if I didn't like something that I would see on your property, I would build the wall like Trump wanted to build. And it was kind of a joke, you know? And I also told him I would maybe put some bushes. If you don't like the view, change it. Your home has 4 squares. You're just looking one direction to mine. You have 3 other ones you can look around. And if you don't like this view, put a wall or put some bushes. And this was kind of a respectful response to me. I'm not being cocky. I'm not being mean to the guy. I just told him how I look at it. If I wouldn't like something you have on your property, I'm not either gonna look at it or I'm gonna put something to block it, because this is your personal property and it's your little bubble you live in. So live your bubble. It's not interfering with my bubble. You're not into my space. You're not into my face. But now you are. By telling me what you don't like on my property. So I'm gonna wrap this video because it's been 50 minutes. And this is the most important part. Remember what we can do. So what I've been doing, and this is kind of like my first steps to do it. Start sending the message. Start sending the your point of view. Start sending, start sharing articles you come across. Start sharing news reports that you think it's actual presenting what actually is going on, not what the government is trying to tell you, but what reality is. You also you also may be thinking about becoming an observer rather than just a listener, because you can hear different stories, but if you don't really look for it, and that's kind of like a mind shift, excuse me. And this is what I noticed with me myself. When you drive a certain car, or when you just bought a certain car, or maybe you're thinking about a certain car, you suddenly start seeing those cars everywhere. That one brand, that one model, that one color, maybe. Um, Same thing. If you becoming a real estate investor, for example, or start noticing opportunities in real estate, just looking when you drive, even you start looking at, okay, this is for sale. I wonder how much this costs. And you becoming an observer, not just listening. You should get into real estate, or you know um, stuff like that. Just start being an observer. So besides hearing the news, start to look for the news. Start to look for inconsistencies that maybe will change you change your mind about certain things. Um, Third thing is educate yourself. Maybe if you don't understand the jargon, the language, the kind of like completely different new language of finance, start educating yourself. So learn about economics, learn about monetary system. The great video I can recommend it to you that changed my life and educated me, like it red pilled me within one evening, was a video by, it's a series of videos. I think it's 10 episodes, Hidden Secrets of Money by Mike Maloney. This guy, in my personal opinion, saving people's life as we speak. Um, it visually will show you how the world operates, the financial world operates, the government, how they operate, and the relationship they have between each other, and how we are affected by it. I believe this should be in a class, playing as a mandatory videos for each student. Each family should watch all of them. Period. And I have to thank YouTube for the algorithm, because when I start absorbing that videos, the YouTube algorithm kicked in, and I start seeing, videos from Peter Schiff, George Gammon when he started the channel. This was like maybe his second, third video. I've been following him. I'm not a fanboy, but I really respect his work. I really respect the message he's sending, the information he's providing to us, the analytical view he's showing you on events that's happening globally that will affect you directly. Maybe not next week, but 6 months, a year, two, five from now, you will be dramatically affected by it. Period. And all those people, they share the knowledge. They don't have to. They're wealthy. They're doing it for fun. They also worry about their freedom. So they want to do them something to make a dent in this universe. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do here. What else can we do? We can share books, we can share videos, we can share articles with your friends. The beauty of it is, and I'll tell you why. Let's say you have somebody who's not really interested into a topic of finance, or maybe this kind of a global agenda that's happening. If you're gonna start sending in videos, short videos even, on YouTube, they will open this from time to time, and YouTube will start showing them a different videos that is not being sent by you, but that's something that might trigger their curiosity and actually click on it and watch it. So I encourage you guys, share with everybody, create like a group, like I did on WhatsApp. I have maybe 10, 15 people that if I see something very interesting, I'm sending them that video, and they thank me for it. Thank you for the video, thank you for the video. But after a while, they're gonna subscribe to it, and they're gonna start following. And this is how the message gets spread out. The good, positive, beautiful message that we all here looking for. You also have to remember that there will be no savior. The government will not help you. And I've been always in a situation where even I couldn't really depend on my parents that much in a time of tough times. So I learned very early on that I have to rely on myself. I have to take responsibility for my life. And no matter what's going to happen, I am the only person, and the only person that's responsible for my life. And now I'm responsible for my life and my wife's life. So take responsibility, because it's your future. And whatever you're going to do now, it's going to affect you in the future. It's the only reality you're creating. So wrap this out. Recreate our own reality. So be awake and be aware of it. And I'm gonna finish this super long hour video with the two quotes, and one of them is by Einstein, and the other one is by Nikola Tesla. So Einstein said, if you want to resolve the problem, you cannot be on the same mental level when this problem occurred. Meaning, if you notice a problem and you want to resolve it, you need to step up your game. You have to be conscious about it. You have to be aware about it, and you have to know how to fix it. You're not going to fix it if you're in the same place when this problem occurred. You have to grow. And the Tesla quote is, think of everything in terms of frequency, energy, and resonance. And going back to the book I was telling you previously, The Science of Getting Rich, and also Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Those books, literally, they talk about frequency, energy, and resonance, and consciousness too. So I'm going to leave you with that. And I cannot wait to share more videos of what I've been doing. By the way, I'm going to the next Rebel Capitalist live show. There's a big community that actually becoming and growing, and I saw that in the second time I went to this event. The relationship that I got, you guys will have a nice information feed from all around the country and even beyond, because there were some Canadians there that drove in RV to this event. Just imagine, they drove from Canada to Houston, Texas, to be in that show, and they were like so interactive. Like there was this person who was literally in politics, like deeply there, and he was just obsessed how politics is corrupted and how filthy and nasty it is inside, that he couldn't wait to share with everybody about this, because he had a first hand on, what's going on over there. So I'm gonna leave with that. I'm awakened after my power naps. I'm gonna keep working when I'm working. I have a house to finish, and I'll see you guys soon. Thank you. Consider subscribing. If you align with my views, please share in the comments what do you guys think about what I think. Introduce yourself. Where you guys from? If you see anything abnormal happening in your environment, share with other people. Information is, I think, is one of the biggest assets that we have right now that we can share freely still, and I think we'll all be beneficial from it. So thank you and good night. Thank you for your time.